Shall we try some things on? Ooh. Oh. Look, you don't have to tell me. I already know. I already know this light, it's not flattering, okay? It's yellow afternoon light. I'm gonna try to change it a little bit while I'm editing, but there's not much I'll be able to do. You know what? So I have messed up my sleeping cycle, which is something I've been really crazy about looking after this year. But alas, I have messed up the sleeping cycle. There have been a few days where I've been able to go to bed really early and sort of get like 8 or 9 hours sleep, which is good. It's not happening every day right now, but I have found that on the days that I do get more sleep, I'm actually more tired. So we need an afternoon delight. I feel like a big chunk of the content that I make now is just making hot drinks. So over on Patreon, I often review last season's wardrobe and the lessons that I learned from it. I want to make a similar video here today where I talk about my winter capsule wardrobe, what worked for me this winter, what didn't, what mistakes I made, what lessons I learned from it for the future. And I know that quite a lot of you are from the Northern Hemisphere. Please let me know in the comments where you're from, because I've seen that at least a third of you are from the Northern Hemisphere, but I would be curious to see how many of the people who actually comment regularly are from the Northern Hemisphere. But I digress. Data aside, I know that you in the Northern Hemisphere are heading towards the cooler months, so I'm hoping that you can take some of this info away with you today. But before we do that, having more things than you need usually means that you don't have a very distinct style. Now, there are lots of benefits to having a defined style in your wardrobe, and if you would like me to make that video, please let me know in the comments and maybe I'll put it together for you. Let's talk about why in this capsule wardrobe discussion it's important to define your style, or maybe just for life in general, why it's important to define your style. I think unless you can find a way to define your style, to get specific about the style parameters that you have, it's going to be really difficult to build a capsule wardrobe in the first place. Think about the authenticity you feel in relation to your outfits. Do they feel like you? I think at this point it's really important to emphasize that style is not fashion. Style is defined, it is specific. It's not about trends. It's not about seasonal trends. It's not about trendy trends. It's about finding a consistent language for your outfits. So we're talking about the colors, the kinds of fabrics you wear, the cuts, the mood of these outfits, because it's not just the individual pieces, it's also how you put them together. We're talking the general formulas that guide your dressing. Knowing what your specific style is, or at least getting close to your style or narrowing your style down, can help you feel a lot more like you in your outfits. When you have to find your style, it's a lot easier to know what not to buy, which is actually one of the bigger issues with shopping. And if you are someone who buys quite a lot, I think knowing definitely what doesn't work for you is a shortcut to buying less. This is more likely to minimize your shopping and save you money in the long term. Maybe it's more about when you make those frustrating mistakes. Because let's be real, following fashion trends can be expensive. Trends are constantly changing, constantly evolving. And if you're making a few mistakes every season, well, that's going to add up. Today's video is sponsored by Organic Basics, my favorite place for everyday essentials such as underwear, socks, leisure wear, and other wardrobe staples. Designed in Copenhagen, made with sustainability in mind, Organic Basics carefully choose materials and fabrics that care for our planet. Many of their products are made with organic cotton, recycled or recyclable materials, and they also offset carbon emissions and donate to sustainability projects. Okay, if you're a normal-sized lady, this probably will be cropped on you. It is meant to be cropped, but I have a pretty short upper body. I think it's disproportionate to my 5'4" body length. I'm guessing it'd be like up here for you. Okay, this is meant to be a bra. This is meant to be a lingerie. But do you know what? I think here in Perth, Western Australian spring/summer, this could be a top. It's actually a pretty good match, hey? I am obsessed with this recent delivery I got from the Organic Basics team. So I got this one in an earlier delivery. It's a little boob tube, and in this delivery I've received it in 2 other colors. Yeah, I got this top quite a while ago, but I just, it was still really cold when I received it, so I just didn't have the heart or the desire to style it, because I just didn't want to prance around like this. Pretty cute with a Y2K pant skirt. Everything I received is so practical and comfortable. I can guarantee that Organic Basics can help you find the essential basics for your wardrobe, with a huge range of tops and bottoms, so many of them matching, and in a huge range of inclusive sizes. Obsessed with the idea of some bubblegum pink, and this, oh. So this top is double layered. I mean, I'm usually an extra small in tops. Definitely get a tight fitting one. If you're in doubt, size down. I would say there's quite a lot of stretch. Now, of course, black is your safest bet. It's a little more subtle. I would style all this black with a gold bag. I have linked all the items that I have unboxed here in the description box below. My discount code for Organic Basics is on the screen right now. defining your style can help you budget so that you can level up your style if you wish to and make good investments in your wardrobe. You can do this if you know that your style is for the longer term. You might experience variations year to year, but generally speaking, the essence of your style will remain fairly consistent. You will save time. Now, obviously, you're going to save time if you shop less, but more importantly, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and frustration on those evenings where you have nothing to wear and you throw everything out on your bed and you start trying on a billion outfits and then you still feel frustrated because you still don't have anything to wear. And finally, well, if you define your style and shop accordingly, you should be able to, most of the time, have something to wear or always have something to wear. I don't have anything to wear is the biggest bane of most women's existence. And it's frustrating when you have a giant wardrobe with hundreds of pieces in it and you still feel that way. I used to be there alongside you. And you know, I love to talk about energy. The most important aspect of having your style figured out is that you can redirect your energy in different ways. If your energy is getting wasted on not knowing what to wear, not feeling well dressed, maybe you go somewhere, to a party or an event and you just don't feel good because you're not dressed in what feels good for you. Imagine what having your style formula can do for your energy levels. I mean, suddenly you can redirect your energy to meditating before you go out rather than spending an extra half hour looking for an outfit, or you can go to the party dressed as your best self. I really don't think getting dressed is superficial. I understand if you're not someone who's interested in that kind of thing, but I doubt that you're hanging out on my channel if you're not interested in that kind of thing, because I'm certainly interested in that kind of thing, and the feedback that I get is that most of you are interested in that kind of thing. If you are like me and you care about styling, you know what it feels like when you're not dressed as you. You know what it feels like, and it's not a good feeling. You can free up so much emotional and physical energy just by spending some time figuring out your style. Now, to round this topic off, I want to give you some homework. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I know no one likes homework, but here we are. To test out if you have your style sorted out, I want you to make 5 outfits for the kinds of events that you regularly attend. I mean, give me an outfit for each thing that you regularly do. 1 or 2 outfits for work, because I assume you spend a lot of time at work. Maybe a casual outfit for, just taking yourself out on a coffee date. That outfit for that party. Maybe you have something coming up like a wedding, a special event, and you need something for that. Well, let's workshop that now. Once you've found those 5 outfits, I want you to think about how good they actually feel, whether they feel complete. That's a pretty good measure of whether you've got your style sorted to at least an extent. And yeah, I'd love your feedback in the comments. Now we sit with coffee. This week's Patreon video will actually be about my summer wardrobe wish list, and you can join me there every week, every Friday, for a brand new ad-free video. And when you join, you instantly get access to hundreds of videos that I have made over the years. And of course, you will be helping me support this channel. I couldn't do this work without my Patreon community, so a massive thank you to you. If you are in my Patreon community, you make this possible. I hope it's not too see-through. I think let's do the rest of the video in this outfit. Oh God, do you think, is this see-through? Only the editing process will tell. Let's do some winter wardrobe feedback, shall we? Actually, before I do, one of you asked, thank you very much for the question, about fabrics. If you do want a bit of a fabric guide, maybe in my next video, maybe in my next few videos, do let me know, because different fabrics do different things and they have a different quality about them, and they can create a different mood. It is an important thing to consider when creating your capsule wardrobe. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if you would like to see that video. So if I am to summarize my winter capsule wardrobe, I would say that generally I was really satisfied with my outfits, but I maybe did make some shopping mistakes, which I shall delve into. So I think the highlight of my winter wardrobe this year was finally getting a really beautiful cozy date outfit together. What was good about it was that I didn't sort of just buy one thing. I sort of thought of the whole picture, and I went ahead and I got a dress and a pair of boots that really work well together. So I really thought about the whole picture, the big picture when I was getting this dress. And that's not something I necessarily would have done in the past. I've always played around with these sort of wrap styles, so we already know that the wrap style really works for me. It's something that I love. It's something that's flattering on me. It's a style that I go back to time and time again. I just went all in. I went, okay, if I'm gonna get the dress, let's just get some boots that really go with it. That really leveled up my winter capsule wardrobe, because I complete outfit ready to go for a specific occasion, for a specific kind of thing that I do. Sometimes it is just filling the gaps in your wardrobe that can make it go from 0 to hero. Kind of casual, but at the same time, kind of a little bit saucy. Most importantly for me, warm and comfortable. This dress is made of cashmere. This winter, I really committed to the V-neck idea. I mean, I didn't get a huge amount of V-neck stuff, but I very much understand now that for next year, or during next year's winter, if I am going to add any tops, they're going to probably be V-necks, just because I am pretty small. I do like big, heavy layers. If I do big, heavy layers, and then on top of that, I'm all covered up around here, it really isn't very flattering on me. And having that little V-neck, just that little bit of skin showing, is just very flattering. Knowing that is a really valuable piece of information for future winter wardrobe iterations. So I didn't really wear as much color as I expected. Last year in 2023, I went mental for bright colors. This year I was expecting that I would be excited about color, and I just wasn't that excited about wearing color. That's not to say that I'm decluttering the colored pieces that I have, because I do love them and they do have a place in my life. But I guess for me, it's more just feedback to myself that, hey, let's just stick to the neutrals for most of the time, because ultimately that is what I gravitate back towards. A big lesson that I learnt is that as an online content creator, as someone who makes a living from making these videos, it's important for me to understand my relationship with my wardrobe and how that relates to my work. And what I realized was that last year, when I did go on my color spree, and I was really passionate about color, it was because I wasn't happy with the content I was making. I mean, I hadn't really been happy with the content I'd been making for years. It's only really this year that I've just gone with it. I've just gone with making the kinds of videos that I've always wanted to make. Once I started doing that, that's just solved a bunch of my life problems. But what it also did was it freed me of this little obsession with color. Not that there was anything wrong with me enjoying color, just more so realizing that I kept the bright colored tops because they made editing my videos more fun, because I was looking at something that was like bright and colored and, you know, kind of a little bit more fun to look at, generally speaking. But I kind of needed that because I was bored of what I was editing, if that makes sense. So I kind of needed the color to boost my spirit while making that content. Now that I'm just making the content I want to make, there's plenty of pretty things to edit while I'm making the video, so I kind of don't need that color so much anymore. So yeah, I guess it was a big mistake to not understand why I wanted the color in my wardrobe. Just because I really like a piece doesn't mean I can make it work. I guess if you're trying to build a capsule wardrobe or have a more consistent style, there really can't be any pieces that can't be anchored. You can't really have these lone wolf pieces unless you can make an item work within the context of your wardrobe, whether that means you buy the full outfit or you already have things that work with it. It's going to get ignored, and it probably in the long term, it's going to be dormant and useless to you. Now, if you do have these sort of dormant outlying pieces and you don't want them to be dormant outlying pieces, another mistake you can make is trying to buy things to make that piece work. Well, I mean, if you solve that problem and you're able to find a pairing, a coupling, and the item suddenly becomes useful, great. But if you are trying to be narrow with your style and you're also trying to be narrow with your shopping, that probably means you're going to end up adding extra pieces that might not necessarily work with the rest of your wardrobe. So again, it takes away from the consistency, and it creates sub-narratives that might take away from, you know, the kind of succinct theme that you started with. Okay, another definite mistake that I made was making some mid-range purchases while I was traveling. A couple times while I went away earlier this year, I purchased a couple of things. They weren't super expensive. They were in a price where they could be kind of impulse purchases. And why I got them was because maybe not necessarily that I was dissatisfied with what I'd brought with me, but these pieces really worked with the things that I brought with me, and so they gave me a bit of a kick. But what I found was that when I got home and I unpacked and I went back to using most of my wardrobe, those pieces have basically been ignored. So the big lesson for me is that I don't buy anything while I'm traveling. Most likely, the thing that I'm gonna buy for the particular little capsule that I have with me while I'm on the road isn't necessarily going to be the piece that I choose when I'm at home, when I have access to the fuller range of my wardrobe. Don't go too narrow. I know, there are numbers. People like numbers when it comes to these capsule wardrobe videos. I would forget about the numbers. I would really just look at the functionality of things, how many ways you can wear them, and which are your key basic pieces. So if you watch my spring capsule wardrobe video, I kind of mentioned that there are 13 pieces in that little capsule, but I also say that those are the key pieces. Those are like the main characters of the season. That doesn't mean I'm not going to take other pieces from the rest of my wardrobe. I'm not restricting myself to 13 pieces. What you want for your number is for it to be somewhere between being concise and narrow enough that you have a defined style, that there is a defined theme, but then at the other end of the decision-making spectrum for that number, you need to also not have so few items that you're bored and dissatisfied and it's causing you to want to add new things to your wardrobe, for example, or it's just causing you to feel like on laundry day. So I would try to balance the narrowness and the usability to create the number that works for you. As always, outfit repeating made my life super easy. So finding a few formulas that I really love, getting items that enable me to make very similar outfits. I know people say don't get 5 of the same white t-shirt. I disagree with that. If you look really cool in a white t-shirt and most of your outfits look awesome with that white t-shirt and that white t-shirt really captures your essence, get freaking 5 white t-shirts. I have about 5 black turtlenecks at this point. Having the flexibility to be able to wear a turtleneck every day gives me so much freedom, ease in terms of decision making. Learn lessons from your own capsule or wardrobe adventures. Some of my favorite outfits from my winter capsule had contrast in them, and that really deeply influenced my spring capsule wardrobe. which is very rich in contrast, and as you can see, I'm demonstrating it here today. So learning that I really love contrast, that I really like a particular shape of pant, influenced the next season. So learn what you like about your wardrobe, learn what works for you, and repeat that. So in general, I would say that I really enjoyed my capsule wardrobe for winter. I say capsule wardrobe for winter, but I'm not anywhere near as calculating, and I don't do that thing where I pack away half my wardrobe over a particular season. I choose from a selection of things and it's quite narrow, but I don't actually physically separate things. The things that I showed you in my 13-piece spring capsule wardrobe video they're all just hanging in amongst the rest of my all year round wardrobe. I guess capsule wardrobe is just a convenient term to describe a particular segment of your wardrobe. If it's a particular segment for a particular season, or maybe when you're going traveling. Years ago, I understood that my winter wardrobe was my weakness. I found it really easy to dress for summer. I had always struggled to dress for winter. And in the last 4 years, I've really fixed that. I've really focused on getting my winter wardrobe together. I've gone from maybe thinking of my winter wardrobe as a 6 out of 10 in 2020, 2021 to now feeling like it's basically a 10 out of 10. Did I make some mistakes? Sure. But generally speaking, I had outfits for situations that I wanted to dress for. I felt comfortable and warm in those outfits. Ultimately, that's what matters the most. So yeah, I think I finally hacked my own winter style. And here's the thing. If you are someone who is unsure about your style, know that it isn't like a one-off thing. Like, you're not going to do a course or spend a week sorting all this out and then suddenly you're going to be like, oh my God, Eureka, I've figured it, I've hacked it. I've hacked the system and now my wardrobe is complete and I never have to think about it again. That's not going to happen. Developing style is a process that can take several seasons, and it doesn't need to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection in life anyway, probably really. It's more that you're able to learn things every season and that you're able to take that information, adapt it to the next season or situation or whatever. Over the long term, build something that is reliably yours and reliably feels good. It is time for me to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do comment, please like, and please subscribe. That way I can make more videos for you. Oh, and how could I forget? A big thank you to Organic Basics for sponsoring this video. Please do check out their range if you haven't already. Bye.